And welcome to another edition of the Sportsman Show. I am your host, Joe Musil, along with my good buddy, friend, and colleague here, going along with sports, Jason the Careless Coachy.
Hi, everybody. Look, it's Friday, September 25th, and before we start our show, we would like to discuss about our first get-together away from Zoom.
Yep, at Muzzy Field. We had a good time. We were there for the third annual All-Star baseball game, vintage baseball. And, you know, we sat down in the first base area. We got a whole bunch of good pictures and stuff like that. And the show went pretty good. And we want to thank the Bristol was it Bristol Press or the
It was the Bristol Press, yes.
I think it was the Bristol Press or New Britain Herald. Same.
It's a combination of both papers now.
Yeah, I think it's the same. So, but they did a nice article. They mentioned both of us in the article and our show. So I thank you to her. I think her name was Erica or something.
Yeah, it was Erica.
Erica.
Mm-hmm. I knew who she was.
Okay.
Naturally. Yeah,
naturally. Natural on that. And you know, it was a nice day. It was a beautiful day.
Chilly.
Yeah, it was a little chilly, but that's good for running around and playing an active sport like baseball. You know, I mean,
you have to say I've never seen a game where they use no gloves. It was bare hands.
Yeah, but in 1864 they didn't have any gloves, Coachy. Gloves weren't invented back then, so
right.
I forgot when gloves came into play. I don't think they came into play till like about 10 years. It took about 10 years to get gloves and stuff and catching the ball and stuff like that. I mean, the rules change frequently in baseball in the beginning. They change so frequently. They're like the NFL rules right now. You know, they change so frequently, nobody can keep up with the game.
Of course, it's like one rule, and then the next year the rule's gone.
Yeah, and there's a new rule and stuff. Some people say baseball should adopt, changing the rules a little bit more quicker in the time that they have now. You know,
they're trying at least, but I think next year they should keep that rule full time. When they go to the 10th inning, you start at second base. I think that's a good rule.
Yeah, and I think the DH rule
has to
stay. That's a good thing that will come out.
Because every time you see a pitcher come up to bat, you know they run the risk of getting hurt even more.
Run the risk of getting hurt or an easy
especially running to first base.
Yeah. I mean, it's only like once in every 25 bats that a pitcher actually hits a home run or gets on base or does something thrilling, in a game.
Well, of course, you got no crowds, and, of course, welcome to the baseball bubble next week. So.
Yep, there will be a baseball bubble, but, Muzzy Field was a very, very good day for us.
Yeah, a good thing too, because they were going to renovate that field. I think after that game was over, I believe.
I think they are starting. I drove past there. They had some equipment out front and stuff, so I think they are renovating it. So are they just putting in a new grass or something, or?
I think it's new grass, and I think they were going. I don't know if they were going to do something else to the stadium. I know they weren't putting in any more seats or anything like that.
Well, they don't really. Well, only thing they would need more seats for is probably football. When football gets bigger, or the Thanksgiving Day game, a little bit more seating for that.
Well,
if we
whenever that
happens, that's out of the question this year, but probably in question next year. But for baseball,
keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, for the Blues games, it's cozy there. You usually got a lot of room and stuff. It's nice.
Yep, but that's another story too. Muzzy Field now is basically going to be bare and empty now till at least the spring.
Yeah, so they got a lot of time to fix up the place and stuff like that, and make improvement. So that's nice.
Absolutely.
Nice to see.
Yes, it is. So
we want to thank Chuck Ciccarello for the invite to the baseball, and that's my thoughts on it. Anything you want to else?
Yeah, I know we would love to have stayed longer, but it was on a Sunday, of course. It was a big hype day for football. Of course, if football was delayed, we would have probably stayed longer.
Yep,
if
we would have
got
been.
to. They had a very nice ceremony before the game started, which was nice. An award was given out. I like the big bike that they had.
That was fun. That was nice.
And then, of course, the worst thing that can ever happen is when someone trying to get the ball, and all of a sudden the microphone equipment goes flying down.
Well, that's because they crashed into the fence at 100 miles an hour.
And we almost had one of those incidents, too, but we knew when to take a couple
we took our equipment back, So we kept our equipment safe.
So, and no equipment was harmed or damaged, by the way, just for the record.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice.
So.
All right. What else we got?
Review of Week 2.
Week 2, NFL. All right. What is going on with teams? Is the Cowboys just plain lucky, or the Falcons just that bad?
When Atlanta was up 20-0, the first thing I said, if this is a game that Dallas is going to lose, I can see the panic button is already going to get pushed, and Jerry Jones is already going to hear a lot of crap. Then
Jerry Jones doesn't hear crap; he gives crap.
Yep. So then during the game, all of a sudden, Dallas and Atlanta go back and forth, and then of course I heard Julio Jones did get hurt in that game.
Yep.
So how often do we see an onside kick get done now these days than like it used to be? The chances are not good.
No, it's not good at all. I think it's only 10% or.
No, less than that. I think it's like 7 or 8.
Yeah, it could be less, but there was a whole bunch of debate on the last little sidekick about Atlanta.
Well, Atlanta blew it, though, too. 6 players were watching the ball go 10 yards, and then once it hit 10 yards, free ball.
Yeah, free ball. They could have dived on it before it. I mean,
Atlanta, exactly. All Atlanta had to do was just dive on the ball. They were afraid that they think once if they touch it and they couldn't get it, if it went off somebody, then it's a live ball, even if it doesn't go 10 yards, if Atlanta touched it first.
Yeah, but when you have 6 players around it, just fall on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 6 players should be able to get a ball. It's your hands team. I know you practice this in practice, maybe once or twice a week, and I know it's not too fresh with the players of natural instincts to do these things, but they should be a little bit more coached, though better. Other teams wouldn't have done that. They would have recovered the ball, and the game would have been over.
Absolutely. Another team, unfortunately, NFL had a lot of injuries, and San Francisco had the hardest hit of them all.
Yeah, San Francisco, because they were saying because of the turf or just bad weather.
Let me tell you something. They did an investigation, and they said that field is okay and safe to play.
Yep.
So now they have now they have to go back to that field on Sunday. Apparently, they've been in Virginia preparing because of all the injuries. They really didn't have the need to go back to California and then come all the way back to New Jersey. It doesn't make sense when you do that.
No. The Jets are the Jets anyways.
Yeah. That we can agree to that. But when you lose like a Nick Bosa on the heart of the defense front, and then Garoppolo goes down with a high ankle sprain, then you lose 2 of your running backs. And by the way, they did say Garoppolo is out for Week 3. Nick Mullins is in again against the Giants. Okay. So that was announced about maybe 2 hours ago.
All right. I mean, I think it's a good decision by San Francisco to rest Garoppolo versus the Giants, because the Giants really don't.
Well, the Giants just lost. Shepard just went to injured reserve, so now their main player right now, besides Golden Tate, is going to be Slayton. Believe it or not. Yeah, Slayton. So and now with if everybody saw that Saquon Barkley injury, it was very gruesome.
Yes, it was. I mean,
before he tore his ACL, he actually injured his wrist or an elbow.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the way he went down. He tried to take on a 250-pound guy. He tried to stiff arm him. Then the cleats got caught in the thing, and you could see his muscles tear, and
Yeah, no,
stuff.
that was the end of that. And then once he went in the locker room, we were all fearing Sunday that he tore the ACL. But the problem is, though, in the NFL, the players really didn't take care of themselves. Here comes the pillows.
Here comes pillows, and there's another one. All right, you got
There's
pillows.
3. Okay, good. I got the 3 pillows for Halloween. Good. And one didn't aim at my head. Thank goodness.
I was,
folks. For the record, that's not part of the show, but that's okay. We'll take it in stride what that was. So.
Yeah, that's coming to part of it. Yeah, that's part of the show. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Before the magic of the pillows appeared.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with other injuries, during the preseason, I don't think a lot of players took care of themselves too well.
That's true. I think with no preseason and no real training camp,
Yep.
it was physical conditioning. I mean,
yep.
I listened to Colin Cowherd a lot. You know who he is from?
Yes, he used to be on ESPN. Now he's on
Fox.
Yep.
But he's saying that the quarterbacks are having a better time out there nowadays because a lot of quarterbacks are in 90% ratings and stuff like that. There's a lot of quarterbacks doing well, but he's saying the defenses are not adjusting well to the new rules or anything, or without training camp.
Well, let's look at another example. Right now, the number 1 quarterback in the league by far, and you'll agree, is Russell Wilson. He already has 9 touchdown passes already in just 2 weeks.
Yep. I mean,
he threw 1 bad ball, of course. That was New England. You knew the next series he was going to get back.
Yeah.
In the swing. But,
I mean,
but he is off to a tremendous start. You would never have thought in your wildest dreams the first 2 weeks he's already thrown 9 touchdown passes. By now, you've only thrown 3 at least.
3 or 4, something like that.
But he's already doubled the mark, so he's on a pace to get maybe between 40 and 50 touchdown passes this year if he keeps up this pace. And he always looks like he's in great shape.
Yeah, he's a very smart player, Russell Wilson. I give him a lot of credit for
so do I.
His demeanor and stuff, in the way he acts. I mean, that's a franchise quarterback. That's money right there. I mean, I got no.
I have a ton of respect for Russell Wilson.
I got a ton of respect for him. So,
now here's the biggest injury of them all. If you heard about this, a doctor is in a little bit of hot water. If you didn't hear about Tyrod Taylor before the Chargers game against Kansas City, he was a late scratch because something was going on with his lung, and they said, or chest, ribs, and the doctor said he accidentally punched it, and it really made him feel very uncomfortable, and they started looking toward.
Yeah, he was actually given a shot, and the doctor actually punctured his lung.
Yeah,
that's what actually. Yeah, that's how big was this needle? I mean, you have to take a needle probably this big to puncture a lung. So that's a big needle.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. So now, of course, but the coach said he's guaranteed once he's 100%, he's going back in the game. Let me tell you something. His job, I think, is already in trouble now if this other one's going to start throwing 300 yards a game.
Well, they said this is only a precaution. He's better now. So this is only a rest precaution.
Don't be surprised, though, if he has another 300-yard game against Carolina on Sunday. It's going to put a little bit more thinking for the head coach.
Yeah, it will. It will, but
another team that I thought that's looking pretty good. Green Bay has scored over 40 points already the first 2 games.
I'm still iffy on Green Bay. We should get Vinny on here to.
Yes, yeah, I know. But
I asked him.
Devontae Adams is doubtful for the game against New Orleans.
Yeah.
And yes, do we see them scoring 40 points against New Orleans? I would say
I don't think so. Defense is a lot better.
Maybe less than 20. But of course, Drew Brees, against Las Vegas on this past Monday, oh boy, second half was not good.
Is for the first 2 weeks, is Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers are they equal? Are they past? Which?
Rodgers, I think, still has a couple years left in that shoulder. Drew Brees and Tom Brady, it's starting to run out. Their shoulders are starting to run out of strong waves, I think.
Yep, but why haven't
the deep ball is still Aaron Rodgers? Drew Brees and Tom Brady, they're not throwing it far down the field like they normally would. Maybe as most as 20 yards.
Yep. So, is it time for is Drew Brees' Hall of Fame career? He's a Hall of Famer easily.
Him and Brady both.
Him, Brady, Rodgers are both. But
actually, all three.
Yeah, all three. All three are.
And the difference is with all three of them, Rodgers is one. I believe he's won two. Did he win a Super Bowl ring when he was the backup to Brett Favre when they won it with Mike Holmgren behind his head coach when they beat New England, or no?
I don't think he was there.
Okay.
We have to check on that, but I don't think.
Well, here we go. This was coming.
Yep.
I was waiting for one of these. Okay.
But why haven't those two Hall of Fame quarterbacks won more Super Bowls? They've only won maybe 3 out of their careers.
Brady's tied the record. Okay.
Yeah,
he's tied the record. There's no. I don't think he's going to break the record. I pretty much going to say, unless Tampa Bay goes out and goes crazy, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Let me see. Spanish rolls rookie season 4-12 Packers as the Packers pack behind Brett Favre. Blah, blah, blah. 1995. 2005 he entered the game against the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah.
Is it 2005? That's way before. That's way before.
He played college ball at California till 2004.
Yeah, so that's way before the.
Okay, so no, he has one. Okay, then he has one ring then.
Yeah, he has one.
Okay.
That's
Drew Brees has one ring. Brady has 6.
Yeah.
But with the contracts that's going on, I think once Aaron Rodgers' contract expires, I don't think they're going to re-sign him.
Yeah, he may end up on another team.
Brees and Brady are retiring after they're done with this
2 years.
contract. Yeah. Brady's definitely done in 2 years. Brees, I would probably say in 2 years, unless Brees wins another Super Bowl now, then that's it.
Yeah. I say Aaron Rodgers goes to maybe the Jets for his final couple years, or maybe to maybe Las Vegas or something like that. He could. Vegas.
He could. It depends on if Derek Carr decides to start getting choppy.
Yeah. What?
And speaking of the Raiders, congratulations to them winning their first game on their turf.
Yep.
Against New Orleans. They seem to get it. They had a good night and everything. Josh Jacobs had a good game. But we have to address this. Remember what we said the coaches were warned about the masks?
Yeah, and they got fined.
Guess what? Yep, $100,000 came down for 5 I think it's 4 coaches. I didn't hear about Sean Payton if he got one too.
I think it was just 3.
3, because I thought I heard I thought Gruden was one of them that got it too.
I think Gruden did get it.
And the team got 200.
He got a lesser one because he wore it partial or something like that.
Well, there were some that were wearing partial, but there were some that
weren't wearing anything. Yeah, so Pete Carroll got a big fine. I think their organizations got fined too.
Yes, $250,000. The team got docked as well.
Yep. So that it totaled like over $1 million. of fines.
Yeah, well, the league isn't monkeying around. Next up might be a one-game suspension. You can spend your game up in the luxury suite next.
Yeah, and you can shout plays from there.
No, actually, no. I think they'll probably tell them you're not going to be at the stadium. Sorry, go home.
Yeah, but you got to take the mask.
I saw other games that I thought had some intrigue moments. My most disappointing team right now is definitely the Minnesota Vikings being 0-2. They need to do some.
Their offense is pretty much terrible. They're
look who their offensive coordinator is, Gary Kubiak.
Yeah, so I mean, what they score?
I think they only scored 11 points on Indianapolis in week 2.
Yep. Looking that up. Yep, they only scored 11 on Indianapolis. I know it's in Indianapolis, but that's still
they played
worse showing
too than week 1.
Yeah, that's 2 poor showings out by them. So,
yup.
I would eliminate them for if they don't get back on track. I would say they're going to have a bad season. They're looking for.
Well, before we talk about the Patriots review game against Seattle, I think there are a couple coaches who are almost ready to get fired within maybe after 4 weeks if nothing gets changed real quick.
Yeah.
And I can name 2 of them right now.
Okay, go for it.
Adam Gase and Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
I can't put Dan Quinn in there because I listened to the Atlanta owner the other day on NFL radio, on Sirius Satellite Radio, and he says they're not making a change right now.
Yeah. Well,
for now, that's the vote of confidence.
It is, but Matt Ryan is he a Hall of Fame quarterback?
He's getting there. He's got more time to grow.
He doesn't have too much more time. He's been in the league for over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but the last couple of years, you feel like it's declining. His wide receivers have been either rookies or they've been hurt.
But you're supposed to be a top-tier quarterback, and technically Matt Ryan is not anymore. And
you lost Austin Hooper to free agency to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he is a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he could be like a Dan Marino and not ever win a Super Bowl,
Yep. Now, also, you saw the Kansas City kicker, Butker. Since when can he do this, even though you got a timeout was called, a 5-yard false start, and then he still boots a 58-yard field goal, not once, but twice, actually 3 times.
3 times he did that. I mean, that's it.
And they were right down Broadway, too.
They had a good extra 5 yards after that, too. I mean, he's a mule.
5 yards.
Yeah, he's a mule. That's a great kicker right there. That's a lot of win. You can win a lot of games with that kicker. Not having to get so far down the field with like 2 minutes to go and having him kick field goals. I mean, that shortens a game. That's a weapon. That's a big time valuable weapon for Kansas City. That's just another icing on the cake. I mean, when Patrick Mahomes is not lighting up the scoreboard and has to.
In the first half, though, he had a little bit of a tough start. He really didn't get going until about almost the end of the third quarter.
I know, but I watched most of the game, and he did struggle. But having that kind of kicker, having that kind of weapon, that just bails him out. That bailed him out for having a difficult game. I mean, he did do some good throwing and stuff like that, but I would say it was a difficult game for him.
Another game too. We don't talk about nobody really talks about the Arizona Cardinals very much, and
I know you picked them to win that division, and they're
so
they're
far
2-0 now.
2-0. Against the Washington team, Hopkins still looks pretty good. Fitzgerald doesn't look like he looks like his old age right now. He's playing like a young gun.
Yep.
Kyler Murray's been running touchdowns in besides throwing touchdowns, and it's making a big difference out there. And look who they have this Sunday. They have Detroit at home. That could probably going to be another victory. Well, I can't guarantee that because I almost said that with Jacksonville. And then, of course, lights out. Miami went in there and lights out of them.
Well, except for their opening loss to New England, Miami's bounced back. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's found some youth in him.
Yeah, we've heard this before, though. Remember, he's played 4 games in a row, and then all of a sudden he has trouble.
He forgets where the park his car, and then he goes off. Yeah.
I'll talk about that a little bit last night. I thought Garrett Minshew, some of the game wasn't his fault. There were a couple plays where the receivers should have made these catches. A couple of them got wide open in the end zone, too.
Yeah, I know. Garrett Minshew did well last night.
The rookie, James Robinson, right now. Yeah. He's the rookie of the year. He's off to a fantastic start.
Yep, he is.
But, yeah, saving it for last for football. New England, it was a back-and-forth game. And, first of all, our thoughts and concerns are to James White.
Yep.
His parents his father was killed in an accident. His mother was still in critical condition. They did announce today he will not be – he's already been scratched for this week's game against Las Vegas.
Yep, and that's a big weapon. That's a weapon.
Yeah, he is a big weapon. Jules Edelman played an outstanding game on Sunday.
I think so. The Squirrel, nicknamed the
only
Squirrel.
179 yards I think he finished for the game.
Yep, I mean, he looked – a lot better with Cam Newton than he did with Brady for the past couple of years. I mean, he was going downfield. He was stretching out for passes and catching them. I mean, he looked good. I mean, he didn't really get into the end zone too much, but he was helping stretch the field for Cam. He gave a nice throw, wide receiver.
It sounds like he's going to be the leader in receiving yards again this year because I didn't think he would do that, but so far – he can prove himself that he can get another 1,000-yard receiving season if he really wants to.
Well, with 2 rookie tight ends, with Izzo and stuff like that, just working into the system, I mean, it's going to rely on Julian Edelman as the veteran, and going forward,
Absolutely. Now, how do I think Cam looked in week 2? I thought he was better than in week 1.
Yeah.
There's still, there was still. I would say he was. I would say it wasn't week 1 where he had trouble. Week 2 he looked a lot better. And yes, just for the record, on the final play of the game, it doesn't matter where he was going to go, left, middle, or right.
Right.
You had a fullback who thought you were going to be able to have him make the block.
He didn't.
Seattle had the entire defensive lineman and maybe a couple offensive linemen were in there stacked.
Yeah.
You knew what the play was coming, and you knew you weren't going to get excited about if we were going to win on the final play of the game. You get all psyched because I kind of saw the play come and said, "Yeah, he's going to get stuffed no matter where he went, unless he tried a little trickery."
Well, I woke up for that final thing. I was like in a daze and confused, and the last 45 seconds of the game, I saw him get down to the 4-yard line, and then I was focusing my eyes, and then I saw the play for the running play. I'm like, oh, man, this doesn't look good.
It didn't look good right from the get-go.
It didn't look good. I mean,
if Seattle didn't call that timeout, I think there would have been something different. But you knew when Seattle called that timeout,
they saw the play. They prepared for the play. I mean, the next thing I saw in the game was Cam Newton flying through the air and not making it to the goal line. I mean, that was
if he tried to have jumped, I don't think he would have made it either.
No, he wouldn't have. He got stood up before even the line of scrimmage. He lost yards, but it was overall it was a good game. It was.
I thought the effort was much better in week 2 than it did in that victory against Miami. No offense, but I think we scored more points and our offense looked better. The bad news is for Sunday, their center had surgery on his right thumb yesterday.
Yep.
So I don't think he's playing. The Raiders, their rookie Ruggs is out. That he was announced he was out about maybe an hour before our show came on here.
Yep.
So he is out. 2-0 Raiders. Did I expect them to be 2-0? I was thinking 1-1.
Yeah.
John Gruden so far has got that team together. Derek Carr, can he not throw many interceptions that he can?
He's looking good
He's looking good so far. Josh Jacobs, their running back, had a good game on Monday night.
Yep.
I got a chance to watch the entire game. And for this Monday night's game, you couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah.
Kansas City at Baltimore. Could that be a high-scoring game? I'm probably going to say it's going to be a middle high-scoring game. Not completely high, but maybe like 28-27.
I give that only maybe I say that's a low-scoring game, 23-20. That's going to be too good defense.
All right, we can go within that ballpark. Okay.
Yeah, I think Baltimore will match up against Kansas City's weapons, like Case Keenum and stuff like that. I think they will control their tight end getting down the field. I don't think they're going to get burned, for deep plays.
No. I'll be very surprised. Well, Sammy Watkins actually is in concussion protocol, so Kansas City might be missing him this week.
Yep. So,
but don't forget Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Or Travis Kelce.
But yeah, I think Baltimore has enough defense to cover those guys.
Yep.
That's my thoughts.
Yep. To wrap up week 2, actually we have to talk about now week 3 from last night's football game.
Yep.
I thought Miami was off to a wonderful start. The first couple drives looked really, really good. Jacksonville, James Robinson, he had a good night despite the fact they lost. He was involved with both touchdowns. Before the game, DJ Chark was announced he was out.
Yep.
About 5 o'clock yesterday. So
okay.
They knew in advance what happened. And then Keenan Cole had a chance to step up. That didn't happen. So it was a tough night overall for Jacksonville, but hopefully maybe they'll get a chance to get back into the mix. You thought when you won your opener against Indianapolis, great. Should you have beaten Tennessee? You had a chance. Should you have beaten Miami? Absolutely. This team could be 3-0 or 2-1 at the most.
Yeah. Well, Miami got beat by the Dolphins, and then they bounced back on.
Well, Miami lost to New England. Then Buffalo had a good fight. By the way, which they lost. CBS lost power, I heard, during the game. So
yeah, you just saw some of the game.
I got to see a lot of it. I got to see a lot of the games with my cousins that I could. So that's why I've been able to keep you up to speed. And Josh Allen threw for over 400 yards. Buffalo Bills, and they're playing the Rams on Sunday.
Yep.
I can see another 250-yard game, and I can see Buffalo going to 3-0.
On the Rams, I think the Rams are back to a playoff contending team.
Mm-hmm. But Jared Goff is going to be facing his toughest opponent against defense.
For defense week. And stuff, yeah.
Because I think Buffalo's ranked in the top 5.
Yeah, they are.
So, but we'll see what the next kind of games come through and all that. Like I said, the Patriots play the Raiders, and locally you got the Giants playing the San Francisco 49ers, and then your game of the week.
That's not going to be a good game for the Giants.
Dallas at Seattle. And then, of course, the Jets will be playing at 4 o'clock in Indianapolis. So there's a lot of games I'll be able to watch this weekend on Sunday. So
I say the Cardinals over the Lions easily. And then
I can see that happening because Detroit, I heard Kenny Golladay is possibly not playing again. My pick of the week, because I do a survival football, I'm taking Indianapolis over the New York Jets. I'll give them by, I'll say
a touchdown.
I'll say 10 points. I'll give them 10 points. Yeah.
The Jets are not doing well with Sam Darnold.
No, the Jets are going nowhere.
Yeah.
That's why right now Frank Gore's starting, and it's a very lost team right now. And Adam Gase is almost ready to lose control of that team.
Yeah, that's true.
So
do you give Dallas any chance against Seattle in Week 3? Seattle.
Well, let's see. Prescott hasn't thrown a touchdown pass yet, but he has 3 rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
And Zeke Elliott is off to an okay start. I see this game being close, but I see Seattle winning this game probably 24-21. With DK Metcalf getting a touchdown catch, by the way.
Yeah, I think Russell Wilson will tear up deep.
I see 2 TD passes out of him in this game.
I'll give him 3. The way he's going right now, I'll give him 3. At home, they're in Seattle. I think they will have fans. Maybe no fans in Seattle.
No, not yet. Not until October.
Okay.
I think for some of these teams, Joe, I believe this is the last week to have fans, and then I think the governors and mayors of their teams can re-talk about and see what they're going to allow fans. I know there's going to be some teams that are going to allow fans. Remember, the only teams that are not allowing fans this year is Philadelphia and MetLife Stadium in Las Vegas, I believe, of the 3. I don't know if there's anybody else.
Those brand new stadiums, and you don't have fans in them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Jacksonville had fans last night, but they had a disappointment out of it. So
but
all right, we covered football for about a good 35-40 minutes tonight.
Let's see, what did we run? 36 minutes of football.
That's okay. That's
36 minutes of football.
All right.
Well, there was a lot to cover. Yep. All right, let's get to another topic and keep moving.
All right. I guess we can go and we'll talk about basketball first because this is more of an elimination game than what I got to talk about hockey after. So both series 3-1.
Yeah.
The Lakers look that deadly, but you know what? MVP is not going to go to LeBron James. It's going to Anthony Davis now. I'm sorry. I'm reversing the course a little bit.
Okay, you're giving it to the younger guy.
I have to because he's taken over this whole series. This whole third round.
Well, I think with LeBron's leadership and stuff like that, allowing Anthony Davis to, it was the same thing like he allowed Chris Bosh a couple times when he was in Miami be a better player and stuff. And he did that in Cleveland, too, when they won
Yup. And, hey, Rajon Rondo, what a turnaround in his life right now, too.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better. I didn't think he had this amount in him. I didn't think he could go back to the player that he was of old. Yeah, I know. I'm watching that. Hey,
I'm sorry. Hold on, I'm putting it back on. I was seeing what they were talking about with the hockey thing.
Yeah, hockey. But on the basketball. That's what I'll be watching on my phone.
So basically the Lakers have been sharing the points, the assists, and everything else.
Yep.
Do I think that the series is going to be over against Denver tomorrow? I have to say yes.
Can Denver come? They've come back from.
They've come back down 3-1, but that was the Clippers. This is more powerful.
They did it against the Clippers, Utah. They've done it twice already in this.
Yeah, no one's ever done it 3 times in a row.
Probably not, but
and it's not happening. Not this time.
Not this time.
No, I know. I see this ending. I see this ending tomorrow night.
Yep.
I really do. Now the Celtics. Do I think this series is over? No, I don't see that. Why? Because Tatum unfortunately had a goose egg in his last game.
Yeah, he went 0 for 6 or something like that.
Yeah, he's not having another one of those tonight. I don't see it happening.
I think Brad Stevens pulled him aside and told him you got to be the man. You got to step up a little bit better.
Yeah, well, there's no choice now. Someone's got to step up because if not, that series is going to be over tonight. And if both series ends by tomorrow night, you're probably looking at game 1 probably
on Monday.
Tuesday. No, they won't do it with the hockey.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's it. Unless of course one of the series continues, then it won't start Tuesday. It'll start on Thursday.
Yeah.
I think. But of course, the start of the games, though, I don't think there's no need. They need to start these games at 9 o'clock because it's, give me a break.
For Boston fans, starting at 9 o'clock. Well,
it's going to happen with Miami too.
Yeah,
it happens that way.
So, but I wish Boston all the luck, and I'm a big Boston Celtics
Me too. Fan. But this is hopefully this is not the last game tonight.
Yeah,
We'd like to play another game Sunday.
Yeah, I like to play another game Sunday. I like to play another game.
It would be a Sunday night game, by the way, too. So
yeah, so another late night Sunday.
Yeah, well, no, Sunday wouldn't be as bad. I think it's going to be a 7:30 start, though.
Oh, that's not too bad. That'd be like 9:30. But
yeah,
I say this game now. I say it goes into a couple overtimes. Whether
how many tonight? 1 or 2?
I say 2. I say,
2?
I mean, every game's been close down to the wire. I mean, it's a few key plays in these games, and Boston hasn't made those key plays to win. Except for the game number, I think it was number 3.
Game 2, they blew it. They should have won that one. They had a big lead.
Yep, game 2 they blew a big lead. Game 3 they came back and actually won with a big lead. But I say a couple overtimes.
I can hope and see that happening. So, but we'll ride and see how this game does tonight. I mean, this game's at 8:30, so. But. All right.
All right.
I guess
basketball.
That's basketball. Now it's
talk about your hockey time.
Okay. When I predicted and said the Tampa Bay Lightning would win in 6, when Joe and I talked about it at Muzzy Field on Sunday, he said, "Ooh, your prediction might be off a little bit." I said, "Yeah, what's game 2 going to feel like?" Well, It did. Tampa Bay went off in game number 2, and then game 3. At least you saw highlights, Joe. And I would imagine you saw highlights.
I saw some highlights. Okay. Yep.
Steven Stamkos, out of nowhere, came back, warmed up, said he was good to go. He played 2 minutes and 47 seconds, scored a shorthanded goal. After he scored a goal, he was on the bench the rest of the night supporting his team.
Yeah.
He is not still 100% ready to go. And I don't see him coming back for the rest of this final. They already announced he's not playing tonight, unfit to play.
Well, sometimes you just need that extra. It's like Gordon Hayward coming back for the Celtics in that game. Sometimes you just need that veteran present out there and that person out there.
Not only that, he's a captain of the Lightning, and I understand he wants to be there to support the team because that's what a captain does.
Yep. He goes down with the ship.
At least he got to play. That was the first time he played since February 25th.
Yeah.
Okay, that was when we were having fans, having a ball, getting ready, and
those are good times, Coachy. Those are good times.
Yeah, I know. That was the game before he got hurt, and that was the next game when my aunt and I went to see the Tampa Bay Lightning play the Calgary Flames in an afternoon game. So it wasn't too bad. It was a nice game, actually, and they beat Calgary. We're 5-0 when we go down there. So
yeah,
we won 5 straight. But anyway, so tonight it's game 4. If Dallas has any hope of this, to me, this is a must-win for them tonight. Because if they go down 3-1, because little do you know, there's another game tomorrow night. This is their back-to-back games. And the only reason why they're doing back-to-back is because they don't want to have to incorporate the ratings with the NFL with Sunday Night Football because NBC has the rest of the games now.
Yeah.
And not only that, they're going to be contending with the French Open that starts on Sunday for tennis. So it's time to play on clay.
Okay.
So what do I expect tonight in this game? I expect to see Dallas maybe have a fast start, but if Tampa Bay can respond pretty quickly, they can win this game tonight. And then, like I said, that Stanley Cup could be coming from the top of the arena that's been sitting up there in the nosebleed section. It could be coming down to the ice level.
Well, it paid for a cheap seat.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a free seat. Now, the only bad thing, and what I found out, the families are not there at all. They are not. able to be with the teams. So what I thought what's going on is the fans at Amalie Arena in Tampa were watching the game on the big screen, 6 feet apart. They were doing their thing. So, it was well behaved, but you hope when someone wins a Stanley Cup, what are you going to do for a celebration? It all hinders on, like, in the state of Florida and what the rules are for the state of Texas about how many outdoor gatherings, what's the outdoor gathering limit and stuff. So,
well, the Toronto Blue Jays, played their last game in Buffalo.
And they made the playoffs, right?
They made the playoffs and stuff like that. And they played the last game in Buffalo, and they gave the maintenance crew and everybody a good round of applause for hosting them and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, they have to play a couple more games over there, at least for the playoffs now.
Actually, they're going to the bubble.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Bubble's
Yeah, they're
next.
going to the bubble. So that means now they got to go to another city and see how this pans out there. So we hope it works like it did like it has been in the NBA. We hope it does well in the NHL. And don't forget the NFL is going to have the same experience. And they also announced, too, for the Junior Hockey League tournament after Christmas, they're going to Edmonton, one city only, no fans, all of them in a bubble.
Okay.
All the countries. So we're going to see how that produces. But after this final is over, they take the bubble down. And they have talked about, Joe, with the NBA and the NHL, there's no way you're going to play an 82-game hockey season. If you can play it in January and think you can end it in June. You cannot do it unless you want to play 5 games a week. You can't do it.
You're going to have to fast pace it.
No. I can see maybe a half a season next year.
Yeah. Half a season for both basketball.
Yeah. Basketball and hockey are not slated to start till January.
Yeah. So that how it's going to be happening there. So,
I guess baseball, we need to tackle about this because this is the last regular season of the weekend, which has been very odd, very weird season.
Yes, it has. It hasn't really fully felt like baseball. I know we're caught up with almost the timeline of, playoffs starting and stuff like that of actual baseball, but I was still hoping for more regular season games and stuff in the beginning.
We all did. We all did. But the problem was back and forth. Players were going
Players were going and saying not enough money, this, that, not enough games. And they lost a lot of time.
Yeah.
So,
and what we mean by that, too, is basically the players are very lucky that this could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been. But I got to see what the bubble actually really looks like before I can, declare a winner or something like that. I got to see what the matchups and stuff like that. I agree. That bubble because it's going to be like no home field advantage or anything. Not going to play in Yankee Stadium. I mean, that's a big loss for Yankees because they went on their 10-game winning streak to actually push themselves into the playoffs. So, I mean, they're coming back healthier and stuff like that. The Yankees are with Aaron Judge, Stanton's coming back, Gary Sanchez is coming along nicely too. I believe Cole's had a nice season for the games that he pitched. He had a good season. And they just got to get through these last games with the Marlins without injury. They don't really need.
If these games don't have anything, meaning if you can go up in the rankings for a playoff spot, then you may want to consider not playing your big time players.
Yeah, if your seeding doesn't net you like a home field advantage or anything like that, I mean, what is a higher seeding? What is it? It's like nothing.
Yeah. No.
I mean, it's still going to be your pitcher against their pitcher. and your bats against your bats in some kind of ballpark
Right.
somewhere.
You got to remember the first round is 2 out of 3.
Yep. So if you're versing Derek Cole for one game and the Yankees win that game, you're already down 1-0. I mean, that's the prize of having Derek Cole pitch.
Right. And remember, please, if you're a pitcher, don't try and start on 3 days rest 4 times in a row, please. You're going to burn your arm out.
Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen or anything like that, but
no.
I got to see what this bubble thing looks like before I
want to read more about it when we get to it. I'll look into it and read it. It'll probably come out on probably Monday, so,
Yeah.
We'll talk about it as the show goes on because you probably know next week probably it's going to be my last hockey finals report before we talk about the draft and the free agency. But I'm not going to go too crazy about that because, that's a little bit of off season, but it'll still be discussed a little bit. So
yeah.
Now let's see. So we got that covered. I do want to say that the Red Sox has had a tough season. We had a bad start with an injury loss with a heart issue, and he didn't want to be around with the virus and everything else. We lost Mitch Moore.
No Chris Sale,
no Chris Sale. I give the manager another chance because it's not fair to him that this all happened to him in an interim basis.
Yeah.
Do you take the interim tag off of him? No. You let him have it. You let him keep it. And see what he can do for the first part of the season next year, and then evaluate from there. Because it's not fair to him.
No, it's not.
After Cora got in hot water and trouble, and and you have to feel bad that he got thrown into the fire.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
I'll give him a full year to.
I'll give him another year. I don't want to see him go right now yet. So.
Yep. So.
But, all right. We still have about 7 minutes left in our show, I think.
Actually, we have about 3.
3. Ugh, okay. Let's do this real quick. The NCAA college basketball, I posted it on my Facebook already. I figured I was going to have to do that in advance.
Yep.
New rules, new guidelines. They ain't going to Maui. They're not really going to too many places. They're either probably playing in Orlando or North Carolina with the bubble. We're going to see how this is going to work out. Some in college football, you've got the Pac-10 coming back. I think there was another conference that's going to vote. I believe was voting today.
Yeah, there was some
schedule.
Yeah,
everything is now going left and right, thinking, if a Big Ten can do it, so can we. I'm like, you listen to the president. That's the problem. So they're starting to get back with the other fall sports and everything. I mean, at least you can play 6 games. I mean, it's better than no games right now at this point.
Yeah, I heard that everybody's trying to fight for games. They're trying to figure something out so there's actually something to have watched. And
there's a couple games tomorrow that have been postponed or canceled.
Yep.
The big one is Notre Dame and Wake Forest. That's been called off.
And that's been
for December. Yep, that's been rescheduled. Yes, I have read that. It's unfortunate. I mean, I believe there's one team once again had to stop practicing because we've got some virus issues.
Yeah, stop picking your hair.
Yeah, well, sorry, but I had a little itch. It's one of these moments where, you feel bad for football, but how many people are hanging around and stuff? You're hoping they're not going to a party or they're hanging out with friends or how many people
are doing bad things. But and you got to wear the mask. But that's pretty much. Oh, the Connecticut Sun. Did we mention Connecticut Sun?
Yeah, go ahead. You got 2 minutes.
Connecticut Sun are 1 game away from the WNBA finals after starting 0-5 in their regular season, and this team's really bounced back, and they got a lot of leadership on this team. There's the player that's hurt her shoulder, and I forgot her name, but
don't have to worry about that. That'll be for another show.
Another show. If they make it to the finals, hopefully they do.
Yep.
On the Sparks. I believe that's tomorrow night's game. They're actually live on Facebook. If you look up WNBA, you can watch them live on Facebook.
Yep, I think they might be on CBS Sports Network. I think too.
That too.
They've been doing things on there. So
if you have Facebook, I've
yeah,
watched.
It's a good thing to have. It's for free. You don't have to pay anything.
Yep.
Also, the French Open starts for tennis on Sunday. So oui, monsieur. And as we say, the next time we talk next week, hockey will be over. For the season, and basketball will be in the finals.
Finals and stuff, and
so some sports are starting to wind down, and some sports are starting to,
Hey, when we started this back in June, we had no sports.
We had Zippo, except for soccer and maybe boxing. That's it.
Yeah, and NASCAR. Now we got a whole bunch of stuff.
Now we got a whole bunch of stuff. And this, speaking of NASCAR, we've got another playoff race coming up. It'll go down to the top 10.
Yep. So yeah. So this has been the Sportsman Show. I've been your host, Joe Musil.
I am your co-host, Jason Cochini Careless. Thank you very much for watching. And the next time we speak, we will get into the Halloween spirit month.
Yes, we will. Maybe we should dress up.
Yeah, we'll
paint our faces. Your bald head needs to be painted. Actually, if you want
don't worry, I'll do it green. I'll put a bear on it.
There you go.
Because I'm already looking for a bear costume, possibly for Halloween. So
okay.
all right, folks.
All right,
have a
folks.
good week.
See you later, folks.